All right. So now we're official. All right. First of all, good afternoon, everyone. I am yours truly, Dr. Barry Pierre, a board certified internist, founder of drbarrypierre.com, host of the Lunch Learner Dr. Barry, and of course, your host of the Empower Yourself for Better Health series. Welcome to episode 68 with you guys. It's been such an amazing journey going with this series that started on my lunch breaks and it's kind of branched out to this thing that you guys really look forward to listening to. So again, this is now the third week in a row that we are going live on 3 different platforms. And again, I want to give shout out and thankful motivation to a good friend of mine, Dr. Kendra C, because she kind of pioneered this technique of just making sure you're live everywhere you can be. So just quick little housekeeping. Right now, I'm on YouTube, I am on Instagram, and I am on Facebook. We're all live to get this message because it's one of those things where I've always had people say, well, if you were just on this platform, I would have watched it. So we're eliminating all excuses. Remember, that's our goal this year, right? To eliminate all excuses for what we're doing. So we are eliminating excuses. We are coming to you live and with an amazing message, right? And I think it's an important message because it's a question that I get quite often, really more often than I really should, unfortunately, but it still happens, right? Which is okay because as a physician, you're here to teach, you're here to educate. And if you got to do that multiple times, you do that multiple times. So the question at hand, right? Does it matter, right? Does it really matter who your doctor is, right? And what I hope, hold on for a second. And what I hope, right? I hope the answer is that yes, it definitely does matter, right? Like it does matter who your doctor is. And we're going to talk about kind of various reasons of why that's such an important aspect of your healthcare. Again, the goal, right, is making sure everyone takes care of themselves and get their health together, especially for 2019, going on to 2020. Again, we're almost hitting 2020, guys. Remember in the beginning of 2019, when we all say we're going to be healthy, right? Like I hope everyone's still kind of following along that path and that journey to make sure that is still occurring. So when I pose this question, right, I pose this question because it is a very common question that I get a lot from various people who ask the question, like, what does it matter, like, who I go see? For those who don't know, like you may do a quick little like Google search, right? Just Google search, choose the right doctor. And you're actually going to see most of the sites that come up, right, that actually answer this question are usually insurance companies, right? So you have insurance companies who make a very vested interest in making sure you, the patient, does the right thing and choosing the person that is for you. So it is not necessarily you just kind of going down a list of doctors and randomly choosing a name. You need to be thoroughly informed when you are going to choose like who is going to be taking care of you, right? Again, this is, right, and no sugarcoat. This is a life or death situation, right? The person who is taking care of you will either help you or hurt you, right? And we don't, and again, not to say that physicians are bad, right? Not to say that your practitioners are bad. It's just if something happens where the mesh doesn't occur, where the relationship does not form, it can easily be a life or death situation. I can tell you, I've had patients I've taken care of, right? And they've come to me and it's the first time to see the doctor after, 5 years, 10 years, because they had such a bad experience. And then when they come to see me, I'm almost the bearer of bad news, right? I have to tell them like, well, it looks like now you got high blood pressure. It looks like now you have high cholesterol. It looks like now your kidneys are going bad. It looks like now your diabetes is uncontrolled. It looks like now you've gained all this weight. Like I'm usually the bearer of bad news. And it's really because a decision that was made, years before me because the relationship wasn't there. So and again, from an insurance company, so let's think about that from an insurance company standpoint. If you're a healthy person, right, you're not costing that insurance company any type of money, right? But if you are a person who has blood pressure issues, diabetes issues, weight issues, and all these other medical problems, you are going to cause these insurance companies to spend a lot more money on you. Insurance companies do not want to spend more money on you, which is why they avoid doing it, right? Which is why when you do a search, hey, how to choose the right doctor, like most of their, like United and Blue Cross and all of their websites are popping up because they know it's in their best interest to make sure you are choosing the right physician, right? Because in the long run, that's going to save them money, right? So we want to make sure, right, if we want to help the insurance companies out and save them money, that we're starting right from the beginning and choosing the right doctor, right? So again, is it matter who your doctor is? You best believe it matters, right? It is a life or death situation. It is a financial situation. Again, if I'm speaking just from the owners of the insurance companies, right? Like, it makes sense for them to be more financially responsible for you, right? If they want to save money, and if they save money, that means they make more money. They want to make sure, Barry Pierre sees the right physician right from the beginning. Because like I said, I've had patients, they walk into my office, and by the time they come see me, all of a sudden they have way more medical issues than they had maybe 5 years ago, maybe even a year ago. All right, but they never seen a doctor to actually get that taken care of, right? So let's kind of break down some of the aspects, right, of why is it so important when we're talking about choosing a doctor, right? It's in this day and age. We have to really hit home the fact that the doctor-patient relationship is different, right? It is different than even when I was a child and my mom was a child. Like, it is much different than what it was before. And you have to acknowledge that, right? And once you acknowledge that, once you understand, like, hey, this is a different environment, this is a different situation when it comes to taking care of patients, right? Then you'll understand, why is it so important that, like, we mesh? Because again, I don't care if that doctor is the smartest person in the world. I don't care if you're the smartest patient in the world. If your relationship does not match, if it does not match the situation associated with that doctor, you will not get the most, adequate healthcare. And for those who may want to understand, like, what does that mean to have a good relationship match? Let me tell you about the old days. In the old days, I'd go to a doctor's office. He would tell me to, do 10 jumping jacks, and I would do 10 jumping jacks. And that was it. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't say, hey, why does this guy want me to do 10? I didn't do any of that. But in this day and age, you have your patients who are like, nah, I'm not going to do those 10 jumping jacks until you explain to me why I need to do those 10 jumping jack, right? No, I'm not going to, take that blood pressure medication until you explain why I need to take that blood pressure medication, right? No, I'm not going to, exercise more. Like, I'm not going to do these things just because you tell me to, right? So you have this dynamic where the doctor-patient relationship has kind of shifted. Now, does that say that there are patient relationships that still occurs? Of course, right? And if you're the patient, like, again, I want to talk about this from the patient aspect. If you're a patient who doesn't want to, like, really understand and know about all of, the diabetes, the hyper, like, if you're a patient who does not want to know about that stuff, you're going to do much better with a doctor who says, hey, do this, do that, because you'll just do it. Right. But imagine if you're not that type of patient. Imagine if you're the type of patient who wants to kind of understand and know why you're doing these things. And then you go into a doctor. Let's say you go into my office, right? And you go to my office and I'm just telling you to do A, B, C, and D. And then I'm not explaining to you. I don't want to explain to you, hey, how's it going? I don't want to explain to you that, like, why you're doing it. Like, it's going to be a problem, right? Like, and that's where we really, like, have to make sure, we hit home, right? Like, that's really the issue at hand, right? If we are not meshing, right? If we are not meshing as a patient and a doctor, right? Like, you're not going to get the best healthcare. So I want patients to really think about that, right? Like, I want you to think about it. Again, even in the relationship you got now, think about your primary care office right now, right? Like, I want you to think, like, is she the type, or is he the type of doctor that when I go, they just tell me what to do? Or is there this, like, 50-50 casual discussion that occurs? Like, what type of relationship do me and my doctor have? And then you have to ask yourself, right, is this the best relationship for me? Right? Like, am I okay with just being told what to do and then being told to run along to my next appointment in 3 months, right? If I'm okay with that, then you stay with that type of relationship. That's what you want. But if you're not okay with that, you have to start reevaluating, right? Because the goal is, what is your relationship? What is your personal goal, right? As a patient, right? Again, like I said, we're talking patients now, right? I talk to the doctor all the time. We're talking to the patients. If you're a patient, again, as we speak, I'm a patient now, right? I just left my surgeon's office again, post-op, right? Like, I'm a patient now, right? So I understand and I know what that means to be on the other side. And when I have questions, I have concern. when I have questions or concerns, I want the doctor to, alleviate my concerns, right? So you have to understand, like, what is my personal goal with myself before I can even address the doctor, right? Because that's where it happens, right? Because again, if my doctor isn't meeting my personal goals, right? If that's not occurring, guess who's not going to go to the doctor, right? One, guess who's not going to follow the direction of the doctor? Two, right? Like a lot of things are going to happen if you aren't in mesh with your doctor, right? So that's, and then you have to think about, like, what should I be looking for, right? Like, I think that's more an important thing than everything else, right? When I was doing, my research and my Googling for today's topic, right? A lot of the questions at hand were what you should be looking for in your doctor, right? And again, a lot of it is cookie cutter. And you know me, I'm not big on the cookie cutter approach to healthcare, right? Like, I'm big on understanding what do you personally, right? What does Barry Pierre personally need to take care of himself or to be taken care of? And then what will I deal with, right? Because if you're in the situation, right, where you have some personal needs, like I need my doctor to do this, I need my office staff to be able to do that, like I need the office to look this certain way. If you're in that situation, but you're in a doctor's office who does not meet that situation, guess what you're going to do? Again, you're not going to follow the directions of the doctor, right? And if you don't follow the directions of the doctor, right, I hate to be hyperbole with it, right? It could be a life or death situation, right? Again, that doctor says, hey, take your blood pressure medication, right? And you're like, she's not explaining why I need to take blood pressure medication. I'm not going to take it. And then you go see another doctor like me 5 years down the line, and now I'm telling you, hey, you have blood pressure issues. Hey, you're about to have a stroke. Hey, you're about to be on dialysis. Like, I'm telling you all of these end stage stuff, right? Because you didn't mesh with your doctor 5 years ago to understand how important that was, right? Your doctor and your patient, you and your doctor's relationship wasn't good enough for you to understand that it was really important, right, to kind of follow those directions, right? But the doctor won, right? And again, this isn't just a patient thing, because I think that's what tends to happen, especially with this day and age, where a lot of the onus, a lot of the pressure is being put on patients to do right and kind of being pushed off physicians, right? As a physician, understanding that in this day and age, right, you're going to have these different patient relationships, right? And understand that what may work for one patient is not going to work for others. Like I said, when I was doing outpatient medicine, I had some patients where I knew I could just say, take this medication, do this here, and they'll be fine. Come see me in a month, come see me in 3 months, they'll be fine. But I had some other patients, I had to sit down, right? I had to explain what I wanted to do. I had to explain why I thought it was the best for them, right? I had to do all of these different things here before they said, like, okay, all right, Barry, I believe you, right? Like that's what, and then I had somewhere, like, they were explaining to me, they were coming up with pieces of paper and like, hey, I read this article, this is what I want to do, what do you think? And then I'd have to kind of meet them kind of halfway, because I know that if I try to, have that same relationship where I just say, like, no, you don't worry about that paper you're bringing me, just do this, they weren't paying me any type of mind, right? Like, again, and it's one of the things, and you guys know it, right? You guys will know that you can go to you can have your own doctor, right? You go to your own doctor, your doctor is absolutely amazing for you. And then you refer your friend to go to that same doctor, and the friend's like, I don't like her, right? And you're like, what do you mean? Like, they're the best doctor. And usually that's what happens, right? Like that mismatch occurs where they were expecting one relationship, but they got something totally different. And you may be okay with this type of relationship that your doctor gives you, but your doctor isn't one to adjust. They don't adjust. They don't. And again, I can tell you there's a lot of physicians who don't like adjusting. There's a lot of physicians who are like, nope, either you come here or you're a quote unquote non-compliant patient and you get out of my office, right? There's unfortunately, a lot of physicians who act that way. We don't want to act that way. Again, we're going into 2020, right? We want to make sure that we are going to physicians who will help maximize our health, help maximize the approach, right? So again, if I got to be one way to one patient and one way to the other, I will do so, because at the end of the day, it's about them, right? It's about their health. It's about their life. And I want to make sure like that occurs, right? So again, I really wanted to touch home the fact that yes, it's extremely important, right, to know who your doctor is, and not just by name. Like I said, I don't care where they went to school. I don't care what type of research. I don't care if they're at Cleveland Clinic or Mounts. I don't care about none of that, right? Like, it does not matter, right? Because from the patient perspective, right, like, do you match, right? And that's at the end of the day, I don't care. They could be the smartest doctor whatsoever. You could be the smartest patient. If your relationship does not match, problems will arise. It could easily be a life or death situation, right? We don't want that to be a life or death situation. So that's the big, kind of take home point there. What I want to do, right, and what I will be doing, right, especially because I get this question a lot. And again, obviously with these Empower Yourself Better Health series, I talk in kind of brief tone, but I want to make sure I go into a little bit more detail that we can do here. Next week, I am going to be offering a course for all patients everywhere, right? So they can kind of understand what it means, right, to choose the right doctor, right? Like you're going to go through, and it's free. It's a free course that you want. You're going to do it at your own leisure time, but it's a free course, right? And I want you to be able to see, all right, what does it mean to choose the right doctor, right? It's like 4 or 5 different modules, personality, what you should look for in a doctor, what should be your no's, what should be your yeses, right? So that's happening next Friday. Next Friday is when we'll be releasing that course out to the masses. Again, like I said, it is free course. It is something simple videos. You get to hear me, kind of go and give you a step-by-step breakdown of what you should be looking for to make sure you have that right doctor. Because again, this is a life or death situation, right? Life or death situation. So I want you to be right here, right now. If you are on my listserv already, if you are a part of my listserv, whether it be my email or my Facebook Messenger listserv, I will automatically send this course to you. So you don't have to go looking for it. If you are not on my listserv, I will give you the opportunity to, you can actually go to my website, sign up now. I'll make sure I'll have it on. Let me see. I'll put it in the comments on YouTube. I can't do it for Instagram Live. I can't do it for Facebook Live. So I'll make sure I put a link to my listserv in the comments so you can actually follow along with that as well too. Because I want to make sure everyone is on point, right? Because again, we're going to 2020 is almost here, right? And if you had health goals in 2019 that you didn't hit like you wanted to hit, I want to make sure 2020 that's not the case, right? And I want to make sure you guys are sitting in a doctor's office, right, who you care for, who you respect, and who cares for you, right? So that's going to occur. Again, I've been kind of mulling over this, but I wanted to do it because again, I get this so often, right? I get this question so often that I figured, there's no point for me not to kind of quote unquote give the blueprint out, right? Because again, you shouldn't depend on Blue Cross Blue Shield, United. You shouldn't depend on an insurance company to tell you who the right doctor is, right? Like you should know who the right doctor is for yourself, right? And that's the goal, right? That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to help. Like I said, next Friday is when the course comes out. If you are on my listserv already, whether it be Facebook listserv, whether it be my email listserv, I will send that directly to you, so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to go searching for it. If you are not on that list, I will drop it in the comments for my Facebook and my YouTube watchers. Instagram, again, check the bio. Go to my, and you can, if you check my bio, Instagram watchers, you can, the first button is join my email list, right? So you'll be able to have a chance to do that, right? Because we all want to be healthy. We want to be well taken care of. You guys have a great and blessed day. Like I said, it's Friday. It was kind of gloomy earlier today. So hopefully, we don't get too bad of a weather. Hopefully you don't have too much bad weather wherever you're at. You be blessed. And we're going to see you guys next week. Like I said, so next Friday is the launch of the course. It is free. It is for everyone. I want to make sure, the excuse of I don't like my doctor is taken out. Right? I don't want anyone to ever say I don't like my doctor, because if you don't like your doctor, that means you are with the wrong doctor. And we don't want you to be with the wrong doctor, because it is a life or death situation. So you guys be blessed. Have a great day. Like I said, the Empower Yourself for Better Health Series 68. Again, this video, if you want to catch the replay, will be available, especially for my Instagram followers, will be available on YouTube as well as my Facebook page as well. But check the YouTube out. Again, Instagram link is in the bio for that aspect there. So you guys be blessed. Have a great day. Again, thanks again.